do apologise for the slight delay with getting the stream ready. You're joining us mid-qualifying for Group B of the second day of racing in this League Racing Nations Championship hosted by QVR. I'm your commentator, V8 Field. I'll be taking you through it alone today for the two Grand Prix we've got lined up for you. We're just in the middle of qualifying, well actually coming to the end of qualifying in France, and we'll be headed to Brazil after the 25% around the circuit. Paul Ricard on pole at the moment. It is a VER time and he's just finished up qualifying. We will run on board with him if he does end up winning this race in Brazil. That is what I did last week, where I went on board with Max Rowe because he won in, I believe, Japan, and then we rode on board with him for Belgium. But you can see how he has already taken charge in this event today. He's 2/10 ahead of anyone else, 27.2 around his a very respectable time. He'll be representing the Dutch team, if I'm not mistaken. I actually believe he is a part of the rest of the world. So it's the rest of the world. 1, 2, 3. Zario and Quicksilver represent. I do believe that they might change their nations there. Yeah, of course, those guys are part of the same team as well, so they are in a really strong position. Michael Pace will actually run through the entire grid after this because it'll be a bit stressful to do so now, given the fact we have 2 seconds left. I have just only started streaming, of course. Do apologise once again. We're very excited for tonight. It was a very good event last week. There was a good amount of drama and a good amount of action as well. It's really entertaining to come along to this, and I'm glad to be back here another week. So we're about to get ready for the start of a 25% race. I believe it's around 13 laps we'll be doing around this circuit. I find personally it's actually a really good track. I really enjoy the races around here, and driving it as well. It's got really good flow to it. So I'm really excited to see what some of these guys, who I guarantee are a better pace than me on these games, they can really put on some good performances. We're just getting ready for everyone to finish up adjusting their strategies. They'll be working together as well in this race to secure the most amount of points for their teams. Really exciting for the drivers to really get a chance to work together. Of course, in leagues where they're not always together and they're part of separate teams, they don't really get to enjoy the luxury of racing with each other. Right, let's see some comments. We've got Chaos already in this one. Also again, Nolan trying to go around the outside. Now down the inside, there's a bit of damage to the Red Bull car of Neoma, I believe. And there's more contact between the pair of them, as now going almost off the circuit entirely is the Red Bull car. He manages to just stay out in front of Nolan, but further up at the front of the order, you can actually see they might be going 3 wide in... what is this, 10th position it seems. Fighting for 8th. Spag is having to go around the outside. Looks like Gabba was the braver of the bunch, and still going side by side with Rattel there. It looks like he has just come out on top, representing, I believe, the French team in the Red Bull car. So they're all doing quite well for themselves at the moment. Nolan losing positions to Sonev here. Really unfortunate. He can't just get the car under him at the moment, but he's still trying to hold it around the outside of the car in front. Meanwhile, still side by side as well. So at the back of the grid, it seems like they're all getting the action earlier on here, as more moves being made. Noyoma struggling with that wing damage that he picked up in the first sector. Will chop back over to the front of the pack, but it seems like Michael could be challenging some of the top guys. Spag must have picked up some damage because he has pulled into the pit lane. Timon setting the fastest lap, which is to be expected, of course, and now coming through turn number 1 for the first time. The top 4 seemingly breaking away from the pack ever so slightly. Michael going way off the circuit there. Seems like he's had some issues. Could bring Lando back into it. Slash as well, as Haller's already got a 3-second time penalty. Slash looking like he's not going to try and start to move behind his teammate. He's got Skyzy to compete with behind him, so he's got to defend as hard as he can against him. These two are in a really good position. They can work together to just slipstream past each other. I'll just quickly enable telemetry and the lap data for everyone to just get that little bit extra bit of information on circuit. Lovely stuff. We'll see what's going on at the front, because oh, Michael's already picking up a 3-second time penalty here, and it seems like he's just beginning to slip away off the back of the train in front of him. I'm not sure if there's actually the Dutch team, because all the top guys, I'm pretty sure, are Dutch, and they've just got random flags. I think, yeah, it's got to be Dutch. But But anyways, we'll have to just keep on watching and see what happens on circuit. Doesn't seem like there's too many battles on lap number 2 here. DRS will come into effect as of lap number 3. The first instance we'll see of that is the long straight in the second sector, one of the longest straights on the calendar, and it would be the longest if not for the chicane that actually completely breaks it up. It is normally just a straight line, but they of course changed that as of recent. More drivers coming to the pit lane, a Williams car and a Red Bull. That is for the Maltese team and for the French team. But back up the front, Timon just beginning to streak away from the pack behind. He's doing so well for himself. He's almost out of DRS of Quicksilver. Could leave him at the mercy of Zario, but in normal league racing these two will be fighting for second position. But of course they're both a part of the same team. Actually the top 3 are all working together at the moment, all part of not only the same flagship team but also the same esports organisation, a part of the VER team. I reckon they'd all be super pleased to see how they're doing. Lando looks like he's really close to the back of Michael, getting that assistance of DRS. He's using so much of his DRS already in this fight as well, so Michael a real disadvantage, especially with that 3-second time penalty coming his way at the end of the Grand Prix. It seems like England have about 2 ends of the spectrum at the moment. Of course, Lando and Slash doing so well for themselves up in the top 6, really securing as many points for the British side as they can. Whereas the other English team, the Renaults of Nolan and Spag, way down the order at the moment. Nolan's still in a decent position. He's definitely dropped a lot from well, kind of the pack at the rear have lost a lot of ground in comparison to the front frame, which is stemming from first all the way to about 9th. But already Michael, look at this one, he's lost DRS, and that is the power of all the drivers working together in front of you. Really puts you at a disadvantage. It looks like Lando wants to go for a move here. He's using his ERS. He's not going to buckle behind Michael. He wants to push as much as he can, but it's such a difficult corner to make a move into turn number 1. That is, he just needs to rely on getting a good exit. It seems like he's got superior one out of the 2, and definitely on the next DRS straight he'll probably try and assist Slash as well into making a move. So now yellow flag through sector 1. I believe that is Daryl going for a little bit of a spin. It seems like that entire train has had a bit of coming together. Don't forget about Skyzy though. Skyzy's also in the market to make a move. We'll see now Lando onto the back of Michael without the DRS. He's weaving down the straight, trying to just break the toe ever so slightly. Lando couldn't get close enough, even with 6% ERS to his name. Michael's been able to defend pretty well there to Lando behind him. And in all that, using up his ERS, Lando was able to actually drop his teammate, which is not good to see. Michael again going defensive to the right hand side. Lando not trying to make a overtaking move here. He's certainly got to catch him in a place where he's going to be off guard. He could maybe try into this long right hander, but it just does not seem like it. No, he's not close enough whatsoever here. So yeah, really not looking good for Lando in terms of being held up. Slash has now actually lost DRS to his teammate in front of him. It might be worth conserving the points of the team, and Lando's actually pulling into the pit lane pretty early here, as is Zario. Those are the guys who are going to be undercutting the field at the moment, so definitely going to try and make up some time here. Seems like Skyzy also pulled into the pits. That's going to relieve some of the pressure on the back of Slash, because there's a long way back to the French car of La Chase. Hopefully I've said that one right there. Nolan also staying out, so it looks like the field is pretty much split on when they are coming into the pit lane. Of course, 14th to 16th are all drivers that have already made 1 pit stop in this race. We'll actually just pull up the tyre graphic here. You can see they have also opted for the medium tyres. They're not too far off the pace at the moment, so they're not in the worst position in the world, but you can just see how much those soft tyres go off, and I'd expect actually Lando's come out ahead of Zario here, so Zario really not in a good position because he was held up by his teammate. Sorry, not by his teammate, I don't know why I've said that one there, but of course Mercedes being the first pit box. When drivers pull into the pit lane, you're at a super disadvantage, so it's really just unlucky that they've been able to draw these 2 cars. We'll see what they can do on the straight, because he's still 8 tenths behind the English driver. we'd expect coming through the third sector, Timon and Quicksilver are going to start thinking about making their pit stops. They're on a severe breakaway from the field in front, behind them. Michael and Slash currently occupying third and fourth. That will soon drop as Spag has actually found a way past Sonov. He's not making it easy for Spag though, and Spag getting very loose on the exit. Now they're going to run side by side, wheel to wheel almost, into the fast right-hander. Spag's on the outside. He's got to have the bravery and the boldness to actually make this move stick now, running wheel to wheel through the apex of the corner. Spag hanging on in there. He's going to hold him around the outside for this long right-hander. We can't watch any of the pit lanes because Spag here trying to make this move stick, and he's got it now up the inside of the third sector. Super difficult to make a move. He forces him off wide, and as fair racing, I suppose. Sonev still hanging on in there. Looks like he's going to be beat by the British driver, by the Englishman. He's still fighting him back here down the inside. They're still making some contact between the pair of them, and it looks like with the DRS, Spag has actually not picked it up. Halle could get both of them now coming down the straightaway. It could be three abreast coming into turn number one. Halle spotting the opportunity, going up the inside into turn number one. He makes that move 2 in 1. Brilliant stuff from him. I don't think Spag is done here because Spag's still fighting it back as coming now through into the first sector split. He just can't get close enough. Meanwhile, back up at the front, Lando's now ahead of Timon, who's had a shocker in the pit lane. And it could be onto the back of Quicksilver here. Now this for the race lead. The Englishman really stirring some things up. He just picked up a 3-second time penalty for cutting the corner. So really going to hamper him later on in the Grand Prix. Is Quicksilver going to try and fight this? Lando going defensive to the right-hand side. He's going to pull back over to the racing line. That is a move made for him into the lead of the Grand Prix with that one-lap undercut. Really coming in handy for him. Timon, the big loser in all of this. He's lost a handful of positions. Zario might feel that he's a bit quicker than his teammate, and he's actually almost gone for a spin there, saving the car at the last moment. He's still going for a slide. Timon now being held up by his fellow countryman here. So really it's all falling apart for the Dutch team at this point in time, and that has all been caused by Lando making that move for the lead of the race. It seems like all this fighting has also allowed for Michael to get back into the DRS, even though he's not actually got the assistance this time by. So this could be an opportunity for Slash to maybe try and make a move on the Maltese driver. He's just not close enough in turn one, and he's already used up quite a bit of his ERS. So this train really beginning to spice up at this moment in time. Timon, probably the quickest of the bunch, might actually get past Zario as a tactical move, and Quicksilver's probably going to try and re-overtake Lando, but they are running out of laps, so they can't play this too safely. I've just had to take a sip of my drink there. Lando, you can see, swinging to the left-hand side of the track to go super defensive. Quicksilver doesn't even use his ERS. He's now pulled over to the racing line to take the best line into the corner. Quicksilver goes up the inside. That's an easy move for the leader of the Grand Prix for the Dutchman. Zario did not let his teammate through, though. He did not allow for him to go past, but he maybe could be onto the back of Lando through the fast right-hander. Lando's trying to go around the outside of Quicksilver, and now they're a little bit of a box-in situation. They're 3 wide coming through here. More contact. Lando being forced off the circuit. The Mercedes have double-teamed them. The Silver Arrows coming out in full force here, and they have completely mugged off Lando here, and he's still trying to fight it back up the inside of the Mercedes car of Quicksilver. Zario and all this picked up a 3-second time penalty. Here's Timon around the outside, now got the inside line, and the Dutch team really capitalising on Lando's falters here, as now still wheel to wheel coming back onto the circuit, swinging it to the right, breaking the DRS board is Timon. They're still side by side. Quicksilver giving the slipstream to his fellow countryman of Timon, who goes up the inside. He's made that move on Lando in a space of about a lap. He's lost 3 positions, but he still could try and fight back here, coming now up the inside into the first sector. What can he do? They're still wheel to wheel. I'm surprised they haven't got damage here because they make more contact as now at the sector split. Who has got the move? Michael's into the back of this. Timon losing the position to the Racing Point driver. There's contact between the pair of them. Here comes Slash now on the outside. He could maybe try and pip them both on the straightaway. Side to side, wheel to wheel. There's contact with Michael as now coming down the straight. What can he do? They're 3 wide almost. Oh my goodness me, is Lando losing the position to Timon as there's contact. Slash going for a spin. There's damage to Michael, I believe, as oh, it's all gone completely wrong for these guys. That was inevitable for the amount that those guys were fighting, but disaster for the English team because now they've lost a handful of positions in this race. The Dutch team back up to where they were before. Lachaise is I don't think he went for an early pit stop. No, he's been on these since the start of the race. He's now pulling into the pit lane. More yellow flags. I believe that is Daryl. He's retired on circuit there. I don't believe we have the safety car enabled because it just causes too many issues. I believe Skyzy, yeah, getting past the damaged Racing Point car as Gabber. We've not seen too much of Gabber in this race, but he manages to get by. Still moving in 7th position. Really strong place for him. After all that's calmed down, the big winners are the Dutch team 1, 2 and 3 in this race. VER going to be laughing about this one today, and really the big losers, you'd have to say, are the English team. They're running so well before, and Lando was also in the race lead at one point. I believe Gabber trying to cry and fight with Skyzy at the moment into the first sector split. I also think that Michael again losing positions. No point pitting now. You're not going to gain anything out of it, as here comes Skyzy. He's losing the position there, so it could be a 1, 2, 3, 4 come the end of the race, despite the fact it is 2.5 seconds separating them, so I wouldn't count on it. But Skyzy still could have an answer for the Ferrari car, is now coming down the straight. It doesn't even need his ERS. He's going to absolutely muller him, coming into the left-hander into the chicane. That's a move made for Skyzy, signed, sealed and delivered for the Frenchman, moving into 5th position ahead of Gabber. Slash, despite having his spin, still got bags of pace onto him, and he's now onto the back of Rattel Stifler for the French team. The French really coming alive in this one. They were not having a good race previously in this one, but now they are in a pretty damn good position at this point in time on lap number 9. They're about to begin lap number 10. That'll make it 4 laps to go in this Grand Prix. The breakaway train at the front has kind of died down. We're not going to see too many fights for the lead that would spice too much up, so I think the midfield fight is where everything is going to be at the moment, because Slash is still charging onto the back of the Frenchman of Rattel, and he could maybe try and go for a move. Bad exit for the Red Bull car representing the French team. Slash going to take advantage of this. Where's he going to go? He's going to have to pick a lane to go. He can't keep weaving about the circuit. He can't find a way up the inside. The McLaren really trying to actually force a move on the Red Bull car, but he can't find it. Here he is now, coming back on the exit of the chicane, the first corner, and now into turn number 4, I believe this is. They're still wheel to wheel coming through on the exit. Slash trying to find maybe a switchback move and try and make it on the DRS. Sorry, Lachase getting past Michael. Soft tyres against the damaged medium runner is going to be an easy fight, but here comes Slash, easy as you like, in the DRS. He's not even going to need to use the DRS. He's going to use the last of it anyways, despite it being under 10%. But now side by side coming into the braking zone, who's going to be the braver one? Slash actually picks up a 3-second time penalty for cutting the corner. I didn't see him cut the corner, but he must have just got a fraction off the circuit, and that has netted him a lost time of 3 seconds at the end of this race, so he will be losing this position to Rattel in the end. But Rattel's still going to want it on circuit because he's coming back up the inside of Slash. He has to back out at the very last moment there. That would have been quite the ambitious move, we'll say, for that one there. But yeah, one move made for Slash comes at the cost of a 3-second time penalty. He will not be impressed with that one. Losing my train of words. I've been talking for quite some time in this Grand Prix, as DRS now going to come back into effect. I believe that Gabber could have another crack at Skyzy. He lost the position about a lap ago, and now he's going to try and think about retaking it from the Frenchman. Really strong performer in league races. I actually commentated over Skyzy on PC in IRL. Really brilliant fight, really brilliant charge that he had through the field in a wet race. His wet race is supreme. I do believe we are in dry conditions only for this event, but it would have been nice to see his wet pace because he's super quick. Coming now using his DRS is Gabber. He's lost quite a lot of time. Lachase onto the back of Slash here, and yeah, the soft tyre strat has really worked out from the alternate strategy, coming into effect pretty nicely for him there. And I believe Nolan's also just picked up a move on Michael, who's just begun to slowly just make his descent down the order after getting that damage in all the chaos and carnage earlier. But yeah, Lachase in a really good spot. 2-lap-old soft tyres. Slash still could be trying to make a move around the outside. Yeah, no, he wasn't going to get that one off. That would have been quite ambitious. Now, here it is. This is going to be really good for the French team, because they are in prime position to actually completely double team Gabber. I don't know why I did that one in a French sort of sort of tone with that one, but you can see how much more confident Lachase is on these fresh soft tyres. Not using too much ERS. He has only got 10% left. Gabert got quite a bit more than both of the Frenchmen, so it's really going to help him out in that regard if he does want to defend from the AlphaTauri team. As coming through into the first sector split, he's not going to be close enough, Gabert, to try and make a move on Skyzy. But now, coming onto the DRS straight, is probably where we're going to start to see the double team really begin to form up between the pair of them, because you can see equal footing at the moment, about 5/10 separating the guys here. Zario moving past his teammate, that's not going to affect anything in the race. I believe Quicksilver's actually just lost 2 positions here, but Gabert trying to make a move up the inside of the Frenchman, coming into the chicane. Skyzy holding him around the outside. He's got the inside line for the next portion of the circuit, and this is going to be losing them time, because here comes Lachase on the exit, and he's in prime position to try and make a move. But here comes Gabert around the outside of Skyzy. If he can make this one stick, this will be a brilliant move for him. He's still held left out to dry, and Lachase could be sneaking up the inside at any moment on the Ferrari. There's a little bit of a nudge between the pair of them. Lachase, he thought about a move into turn number 12, but he just had to back out at the very last second there. It's going to be inviting Slash back into the fray. If these guys are fighting so much, this will also probably mean that they could pick up a 3-second time penalty at the end, so definitely watch out for these guys. 3 different teams fighting for 6th position. Really great to see. But now coming on the DRS straight, Lachase is going to have to start thinking about the McLaren car of Slash behind him, because he's been able to catch up loads in all of this infighting between the Frenchman and the Dutchman in front of him. So now on the final lap of the Grand Prix, what can Slash do here? He's really got everything to gain in this fight, as unfortunately Rattel's just picked up a 3-second time penalty. He's got everything to gain, nothing to lose, because everyone else behind him has 3-second time penalties to their name. We'll see what Lachase can do. It seems like he's closer to the back of Gabert than to the back of Skyzy is Gabert. So now coming down the straight into the chicane, doesn't seem like there is any room at the end for a move to potentially open up, but the Ferrari car getting a better exit than Skyzy. A little bit of a slide from Skyzy, and just a correction to kind of lose him some time, and Gabert sneaking up the inside of the French driver. Skyzy's going to have to be more committed around the outside. They could have been close to contact. I'm watching the minimap, just seeing where the leaders are. They're coming through turn number 12 now, as Skyzy can't get past Gabert, so it looks like the French double team has not worked for them. But we'll cut back to the leaders, because Zario, with a 3-second time penalty to his name, that means Timon will actually be the first driver to take the win, coming across the line using the DRS down the straight. He's going to let his teammate through. He's going to take the win. Quicksilver in second, third for Zario, and Lando in fourth. Gabert across the line in fifth. Skyzy in sixth. Lachase finishing out in seventh. Slash in 8th, Rattel in 9th, then Nolan rounding out the top 10. Michael unfortunately couldn't do anything with that wing damage. Haller's actually going to jump him, as is Spag, jumping the pair of them, moving up into 11th position. That's a little bit of consolation for the Englishman, because of course he was in the pit lane at the end of lap number 1, so it must have been a struggle for him in that regard. But now we're going to head over to France, and sorry, we're not going to be heading to France. I got a Discord notification, but yeah, we'll be we'll be headed over to Brazil in the next Grand Prix. But look at that for a podium. When's the last time we've seen that in real F1? A Ferrari surrounded by the Mercedes team. That is, of course, Sebastian Vettel, 2017-esque of him. When I think he was in his prime, I think that was probably Sebastian Vettel's best year with Ferrari, and I think a lot of people would agree with me. But we'll have a quick rundown of the full results once again. So winning the event for race number 1 is Timon for the Dutch team, and I do have confirmation these are Dutch drivers. I don't know why they've got Lebanese and Portuguese, and then I think a Senegalese flag for Gabert. But yeah, Dutch 1, 2, 3. Lando in 4th for the English team. Then the final Dutch driver of Gabert in 5th. Really strong performance from the Dutch team. Skyzy for the French in 6th, as is Lachase in 7th. Slash for England in 8th. 9th for Rattel. for France. Then 2 Englishmen rounding out the top 10, and just missing out on the top 10 unfortunately is Nolan and Spag. Then the Maltese drivers really had a disaster class today. It's P12 for Haller, 13th for Michael, then Neoma, the last of the French runners, in 14th, Sonev and Darrell unfortunately not even finishing this race in 16th position. So we'll be headed over to Brazil next. Shouldn't take us too long because it's a straight one-shot qualifying and then straight into the race. 18 laps, if I'm not mistaken, around the Interlagos circuit. A personal favourite of mine, just for the battles it's had at the end of the championship fights as well. I don't believe anyone is changing up the scenery here. I think Darrell was the only one that left the session after his unfortunate DNF. I don't know if it was damage causing that one, but it might have been him retiring the car. I'm not too sure. Hopefully he should be able to get back into the lobby. I'll just check the Discord chat, see if there is any word of him getting back into the race. Oh, there is a lot of controversial talks at the moment. Yeah, oh, Michael's not happy about his damage. He wasn't happy, and I think it was unlucky for him because it was not his fault. You know what? He did show that he did have some really strong pace in that one. I do have to say, all things considered, he did really well. I believe. No, that's not Darrell getting back into the lobby. Hopefully he'll be able to get back in. There might be some word of him rejoining. Skyzy has put the formation lap on this time. Yeah, they forgot to do that one. It's an easy mistake to make. I've done it before. I think I did it in the 24-hour event that happened in December when I was hosting. I forgot to put the formation lap on. I was super embarrassed. I was like, oh god, what have I done? But it was all good. In the end, you know, formation laps don't have too much of an impact. You're just getting a little bit of heat into your tyres. Everyone's still on a level playing field. You do have to consider that. It'd just be a little bit more difficult to get the best start that you could have wanted. But you know what? Everyone is experiencing that one. So you got to be fair on the host sometimes. Don't abuse them. Skyzy's doing a good job today. Driving and hosting the lobby. It's quite difficult to actually have a lobby, but they are readying up now. So we'll be back underway very, very shortly. Just got to take another sip of my water. I'm not actually drinking water. I don't know why I said that. I'm drinking a Pepsi at the moment. I normally drink water on streams, but I just thought I wanted something a little bit more to my taste. So I decided to go for it. They're readied up and then they unreadied straight away. Unfortunate for Michael, he's had internet issues and he's not able to get back into the session, so really unfortunate there. But they'll be missing out on a chance of a point in this one. I don't believe top 10, anyone outside the top 10 actually picks up a point, but we'll get ready to underway and we'll take a ride on board with the race winner of France. We'll go on board with Timon for the Dutch team in the Ferrari car, the Scarlet Red Ferrari. I think Brazil's want to wipe the memories of what they've achieved here. Did we have a race in 2020 around Brazil? I don't think we did. I think the most recent Grand Prix at the circuit was 2019, where of course the two Ferraris collided, and was not a very nice experience for Ferrari fans worldwide. And you know what? I lost a little piece of me. I'm not a Ferrari fan, but it was just something that you didn't want to see because you really were rooting for Ferrari. Everyone's a Ferrari fan. Even the Mercedes drivers. They say they support Mercedes. They're really Ferrari fans. There's a little Sebastian Vettel trivia for you there, but we'll move away from real life F1. We'll get ready for the Brazilian Grand Prix here. Part number 2 of race 2.2, day number 2 of course, for the League Racing Nations Cup of edition 2. Of course it was a great success last year. It's been brought back this year and it's been a really well organised event, so I find everything that has QVR involved ends up pretty nice. I did a little OK symbol with my fingers where you put your index finger and your thumb together and you spread everything else out. Yeah, little OK symbol. I did that. No one can see me, but here we are. We'll find Timon. Just quickly go on board with him. As here we are, the Ferrari car, going to lead us off on a lap coming into the Senna S's, the famous corners, where he's already invalidated that one. So we'll go on board with Quicksilver, I believe, finishing second in the last one. He's just on his way up to turn number 4, the Retro Poster. You want to take this one nice and fast in 5th gear, and he's done that pretty nicely there. And it's actually can't put him out in the lead of this one, so looking already really strong for the Dutchman. We'll just turn on his telemetry and the lap data to see how much he's actually doing through these sectors, and of course where he is putting in his throttle adjustments coming through the second sector now, up to where Albon and Hamilton had their collision 2 years ago almost, at the end of 2021 of course. But here we are now going through this long left-hander into the third sector. It's a 50.0 flat. Unfortunately for the Ferrari teams, Gabber has retired from the session, must have had a crash somewhere. As here we go, Quicksilver on the run up to the line. He's going to look like he'll be in third position. Mercedes doing really well today. 6.6 is pole for Zario. And then we've got, I believe Lando came in second position, third place for Quicksilver, and we'll have a comprehensive rundown of the grid, the confirmed grid for this one. So here we are, Zario on pole for the Dutch team, really strong showing from the team as a whole. Lando in second position, third for Quicksilver, Skyzy in fourth for the French, Michael again having some good qualifying pace in fifth, sixth for Slash, seventh for Lachaise, eighth for Rattel, then Sonev in ninth, Autogear Nolan in 10th, and the last qualifier of the session, Haller, was in 11th position. You can see all these guys invalidating their runs. Neoma, Timon, Spag and Gabber all invalidating on their laps. Well, I actually don't know if Gabber retired or if he just invalidated his run, but here we are. We'll get ready for the start of the Grand Prix. It's a straight soft to medium, as is pretty much every 25% race, and it'll be a very fun one because it's a little bit more difficult to overtake on this circuit, so we might not see some battles, well, just straight DRS trains, I suppose. We'll definitely see a lot of battles, and whether drivers are actually more willing to make sending moves, and it'd be really great to see these guys going at it. That's what I do prefer about less of the really top, like, esports level guys. Not that these guys are slow in any regard, these guys are pretty damn rapid, but the esports level guys, they do tend to prefer to stick in DRS trains, whereas in these events we like to see some daring moves, and I definitely think we'll see some of those. We'll get ready to go in 15 seconds for the formation lap, which Skyzy has made sure is enabled this time by. We're just waiting for them to lock in their strategies. I believe outside top 10 we could see some medium to soft runners. We'll have to have a look. Of course, it's not as powerful on 25% races, but here we are now to all go for the formation lap. We'll see what tyres everyone is on, and yeah, so for both Ferrari cars they'll be on the medium tyres, as is Neoma and Haller. Spag's currently on the set softs. He'll be a lot quicker than anyone around him, but of course he's way bogged down the order, so I doubt he'll be fighting too hard at the front, but he won't have to work as hard to put heat into these tyres. Of course, the grippiest soft tyres melt away quite quickly. Hopefully we don't see anyone getting disqualified on the formation lap, which is quite common to do around here. It's a very tight circuit, Brazil, so yeah, we probably could expect someone to get disqualified on the formation lap. I'd hope not, but it'd at least make for something kind of interesting. Something to talk about. Formation laps do tend to be a little bit anticlimactic, but we'll talk about Zario on pole at the moment. He set a pretty strong pole time, 6.6 in the end, and he'll be leading off the grid. He was leading at the end of the Grand Prix as well. So in France, of course, he gave up the win to his teammate, and he did have a 3-second time penalty, so he ended up coming in third. But he's certainly going to be the favourite for me to win this race. I definitely think he'll be one to try and take the win. I think Lando's also going to have a good race. You know what, I think I've got hope for Michael in this one. I felt bad for him at the end of the last race. I've just had to take off my hat there because it's getting a little bit warm in my room. I think it's because my PS4 is a little bit of a jet at the moment, but now all the cups have really gone over my ears. I can hear myself pretty much perfectly, and the game audio sounds as crisp as ever. So they're all just pulling into their grid slots. We're about to get ready to go in this one for race number 2. of day 2 in Group B. Here we are. They're just lining up on the grid, and as soon as the red lights come on, as they are now, we'll get ready to go once again in this one. Here we are for race number 2 in Brazil, and it is underway, and it looks like it's been a supreme start from Zario, absolutely getting the jump on Lando. Maybe Quicksilver could soar around the outside of the Englishman, completely mugging him off there, moving into second position. So 1-2 for Mercedes team. Looks like Michael feeling the pressure from Skyzy behind for 4th position in this one, as now they run down the Retro-Aposta in towards turn number 4 for the first time. Here's Skyzy onto the back of Michael. A little bit of contact between the pair of them. Don't think we've seen any damage from Skyzy's front wing coming off there, but then they move up the hill and through turn number 5 for the first time in this race. We'll just quickly throw up the positions gained and lost time, and you can already see moving up a number of positions. Nolan losing a position to Rattel there. He's actually got time for company who could make up a 4th position in this race, starting all the way down in 12th or 13th, I think, as there it is, the move made for him. He did start in 13th. My maths was just a little bit wrong, but into 9th already in this one. Really strong from him. There's a Renault car going off the circuit and completely cutting the corner there, and that is Nolan having some issues. And looks like any chance of a good result could be out the window for him, but now completing lap number 1 for the first time, it is Zario moving ahead, and it looks like Skyzy has managed to pick up a move on. No, he hasn't. Okay, it's a little bit of desync issues. That is quite common, of course, on this game. As oh no, who's gone off? I think it might have been Timon. Timon's gone off. As yeah, everything just does like to glitch out a bit. Timon, unfortunate for him, going off the circuit. We didn't quite catch that one there. Might have tried to go for a move on someone in front of him. Just trying to think if that would have been, I believe that would have been Rattel, and then he just completely lost it. Spag on his freshest set of soft tyres at the moment, of course starting outside the top 10, getting that free choice of tyres. He's onto the back of Sonev at the moment. We'll see what he can do coming in through where Albon and Hamilton had their contact in 2019. He can't find a move this time by. It seems like there's a bit of a rift forming. The top 7 breaking away from the pack at the moment. We'll have DRS enabled this time by, actually. Of course, no DRS for now. It does say lap number 3 in the top left. Do not pay attention. We're coming on to lap number 3 now, and DRS should be enabled for the first time. We're going to get our first taste of the drag reductive system around Brazil, coming up through turn number 4, I believe it is. So now here it is, coming onto the straightaway for the first time. DRS enabled for Lando. He doesn't look like close enough to really challenge onto the back of Quicksilver, so this is where teamwork could come in handy. Here is Sonev onto the back of Haller, though. We've got a nice camera angle there, completely in the cockpit of Sonev. Going off the circuit is the Williams car of Haller, who does defend the position quite nicely from the Racing Point car, but at what cost? He's got a 3-second time penalty added to his race time, which will cost him dearly in these shorter races. Sonev, he was denied of the move, but it is a little bit of consolation for him. Unfortunately for him, though, he's got Spag right behind him. I'm yawning for whatever reason. I'm very sorry, I'm a little bit tired today. Yeah, it's been a long one. Seems like Quicksilver lost a lot of time to Zario, though. I could maybe invite Lando into maybe trying for a opportunity into the first corner. We'll see what the Englishman decides to do onto the back of the Dutchman. He's definitely closing up to him. He could maybe try and go for the move, but no, he's just going to hang back now. He sets the fastest lap in the race, really asserting his authority. Timon coming to pit lane very, very early in this one. But now onto the DRS straight for the 4th time in this Grand Prix. Neoma picking up a 3-second time penalty, unfortunately for him. That is a horrible camera angle, and you can see Zario probably backed off just a slight bit there, side by side between Spag and Sonev. Sonev breaking the he completely had no room there. I don't know what happened between himself and Spag for 10th position, but now he's got Gabert behind him. Gabert could be trying it around the outside of turn number 5. The Ferrari car, the Scarlet Red, the prancing horse, trying to make the move, but he just can't find a way around him. Sonev putting up his brick wall there and denying the Dutchman of the move. It seems like the Dutch team not got as stronger standing in this one as they did in the previous race in France, where they completely locked out the podium. What can Lando do? onto the back of Quicksilver in a bit of a dead period where everyone's in a bit of a stalemate, not trying to make too many moves and trying to nurse these tyres as much as they can. But that's not going to stop Lando from pulling out the slipstream and just having a half look at the rear of the Mercedes car. Don't forget, they still haven't dropped the likes of Michael and Skyzy. Will go on board with the McLaren car. You can see he's not even tucking into the slipstream, which is quite odd. I don't know why he wouldn't stay in the slipstream of the cars in front. He could probably save a little bit more time. Maybe he's trying to cool the engine just a little bit, as Nolan's just moved ahead of Neoma. Easy move for him there. Haller got back behind him at this moment in time. We'll see what he can do. Maybe into turn number 6, Spag could try and force an opportunity to open. He just can't have a look. He can't find an avenue through. I believe closest fight on circuit at the moment could be between Lachase and Slash. Lachase seemingly struggling in this one because he's losing time to Skyzy in front of him. Yeah, could be one to watch out for. But again, Quicksilver seemingly slower in the third sector than Lando, and Lando really looks closer than ever, and Quicksilver pulling into the pit lane in before we could think in that one, as a bit of an early pit stop, I would say. Actually, they probably could stay out just a little bit longer. Slash also following him into the pit lane to cover off an undercut, maybe try and fight the Mercedes car. Could have just been slightly held by Slash coming to the pit lane, did Quicksilver. We'll see what the end result is. You can see it's already quite large at the moment. Spag onto the back of Halle, just can't find an opportunity. Haller's also got DRS in front of him on Rattel, so I assume that's not going to be helping the Englishman try and find a move on the Maltese driver. Malta seeming like they're having a better race of it today, which is nice to see. Of course, in France they did not pick up a top 10 finish, which really hampered them completely. As yeah, they're looking quite strong today though. Really asserted their dominance. Well, not dominance, so to say. They would be winning the races by absolute miles, but they're putting down their authority. They're saying, you know what, we're not going to keel over and let you take advantage of us. We're going to fight you for your positions. As here we are, the first wave of pit stops really coming in. Spag pulls in as well, as he was having a look at the back of him there, as Zario might have just been held for a little bit there. Where's Quicksilver going to come out of all this? Quicksilver coming through turn number, well, he's just come through Junsao, and this could be him moving into the lead of the Grand Prix by quite some margin, because you can see Lando is actually jumped. Yeah, Lando's been able to jump Zario. You can see Lando's pipped both Mercedes here, but Quicksilver now, with the overspeed on the straight, he's jumped his teammate, but he's lost out to Lando. So Lando, out of nowhere, moving into the lead of the race, and that is most likely due to the Mercedes pit stop box. I'd assume both of them were held up, but Slash also closing up to this fight as well. So now this has turned into a real all-out scrap between the English and the Dutch team. Certainly could throw some issues into the air about all of their standing in this one. I'm not too sure what's happened for Spag, because he's way off the back of Rattel, who's just pitted. Might have had some sort of incident or coming together with someone else. I say that, he's not actually too far back. He's just come out, been interjected by the Ferrari cars. They will of course make up their positions once everyone else pulls into the box. Spag was the only driver outside the top 10 to pick the soft tyres, and whilst Timon and Gabert are going to have a lot quicker run at these guys, and they'll be much faster. Sonnet, for some reason, picking the hard tyres. Don't know why he'd do that, but here's Timon onto the back of Rattel, and he sent that one from a long way back. Is he trying to force this move in through the center S's? He's not been able to make that one stick, but now he's going to have maybe a better run and exit off of the center S's. You can see weaving down the straightaway is Rattel, just trying to defend from the Dutchman. He can't find a way through this time by, but yeah, he's really challenging the back of Rattel. He made a sincere dive up the inside of Rattel, who's just trying to fend off the flying Dutchman at the moment. Excuse the little bit of a pun there. As Lachase onto the back of Michael. I believe he was behind. I think Michael was actually behind him previously. I know that Slash has jumped 3 guys in all this from making that 1 lap earlier pit stop. Really good from him. I'd probably say he's benefited the most out of the pit stop phase, but he's not got DRS on the cars in front of him. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for the yawns. Timing onto the back of Rattel though. This should be an easy enough move for him. We'll watch on board with Gabert because he could try and make a send on Rattel as well. Timing giving the slipstream to his teammate as now coming in towards turn number 1 is the Dutchman making the move, making the send on Rattel, the Frenchman, losing 2 positions in the matter of 1 straight, but it might not be over for him because he's got Spag for company right behind him using some of his ERS. He's saved up quite a bit of it and now he's got the inside line for turn number 4 where Sebastian Vettel and Leclerc touched in 2019. That is the move for him, and Rattel getting a very wayward, a lot of oversteer off the exit of turn number 5, and he's managed to just hold on to that one. Nolan still trying to hold it around the outside of Sonev, who's for some reason opted for the hard tyres, which was not the right call to make. Nolan, that was a clear and obvious corner cut there. I don't know what he was thinking about that one, turning in so early, picking up a 3-second time penalty in the process. Haller's the only driver yet to come into the pit lane. He probably could make it to the end, but yeah, this would definitely be the time where I would pit, personally, if I was him. They're in a bit of a stalemate. Everywhere else on circuit at the moment doesn't seem like anyone's close enough to make any moves. Just trying to think what could be going on here. Looks like Nolan has finally found a way past Sonev, and I completely missed it. But yeah, it was easy enough into turn number 1. Sonev's still trying to fight this here. Rattel, unfortunate for him, picking up the 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, as Sonev's not done here because he's onto the back of Nolan. Horrible camera angle and an even worse angle there coming in through turn number 4. Sonev was not able to make the move secure, and that has allowed for Nolan to get back up the inside. What is it with on the run up towards turn number 4 through the Retroposter? Is it with the terrible camera angles? Thank you, Codemasters, for that one. Really do appreciate it. Just got to take a quick swig of my drink because I'm getting a little bit thirsty. As yeah, Haller coming into the pit lane, he's almost hit the wall on entry there, but that will unleash Lando into lead the Grand Prix. Done so well today to really capitalise on the pit stops and disasters of the other cars behind him, as Haller losing positions. I didn't quite see, but Lachey's up the inside of Michael. I didn't see that Slash actually lost position to Skyzy, but Michael losing that one to Lachey. So the French team coming up strong here because it is allowed for both of them to move ahead of their rivals. We'll watch on board with Gabert. He's not trying to fight his teammate in this race, but now everyone is kind of leveled out in the positions that they should be, as Lachey's fighting with Michael. Michael coming back at the Frenchman, and maybe could try it into the turn number 5 complex corner up the hill. Not quite. He's going to be very deep on the brakes. Not worked out at all for him there. Don't know why this is saying that he's a whole lap behind Gabert in front of him, but I assure you that that is not true. Everyone outside the top 10 has actually picked up a 3-second time penalty. We've got to watch these Ferraris because whilst their pace looks strong now, and considering all things considered that Timer was way off the grid earlier on, that doesn't change the fact that they are on soft tyres, and they've been on them for quite some time. They're actually older than all of the medium sets. They're going to get to the point where they will severely go off in this race. As yeah, just trying to keep following along. We'll go on board with our leader because it doesn't seem like there's too many fights going on circuit. As I say that, Haller's onto the back of Rattel. Fresh set of soft tyres for him. Should be an easy move for him. We'll see what Haller can do onto the back. Coming down the Retroposter, you can see the greater speed that he's got. He could make the send into turn number 4 here. Coming up the inside. Brilliant camera angle. The nice helicopter shot. Rattel completely going off the circuit. He had no answer for the Williams car, who's now got the... Okay, yes, Spag's completely desynced in this one because it's now put him in... Is he out the session? I hope he's not. Here's Neoma on the outside of Sonev with the fresh soft tyres. So the old strap runners coming to fruition, but of course they're way down the order, and they're quite some ways off of the guys at the front. They can't really take advantage of these tyres to their full extent. You can see in the mirrors, Nolan tried to make a move around the outside of Sonev, but these guys having a wholesome scrap between the lot of them. We'll see Michael onto the back of Lachase. He's got DRS on the Frenchman in front of him. Could he maybe try and make it send into the first corner? It's a certainly long corner and a late apex, but he's not been able to make a move stick. We'll see maybe what can he do coming through the Retroposta down the straightaway in towards turn number 4. He's got DRS. He's not close enough to Lachase. He can't make the send coming into the braking zone. There it is. 2/10 was the closest he was managing to get as yellow flags through sector 1. That's Sonev going off. Is he into the wall? He's retired on circuit. You're not supposed to do that, thank you. Can cause issues. Normally with the safety car, I think you should always put it into the pit lane just for the sake of goddamn realism or whatever. But yeah, should always put it into the pit lane. Can cause issues for the cars around you. No one on circuit still can cause some problems, but of course he has left the session because there's no other races after this one. So here we go for Lando. Going to be feeling the pressure from Zara. Got to get a new saying other than feeling the pressure. He's about to take the heat from the Dutchman. I quite like that one because he is far onto the back of him, but he's not close enough to make a move. Here we are though. Timon. I'll give credit to him. 9-lap-old tyres on the softs. This is the point where you'd normally pit on the soft tyres. He's doing really well for himself, and we'll see what he can maybe force a move on to Michael. More yellow flags through sector 1. I don't know why that has come out. Maybe that was just a little glitch coming out at the end, but yeah, caught in this train, not going to do his tyres any good. He can save a little bit, I suppose, if he just decides to hang back and let those two battle it out and take advantage of a mistake they might make. But I'd assume that he'd want to also bring his teammate with him, Gabber, of course, representing the Dutch team alongside Timon, whereas Lachase and Michael have no affiliation together, so they won't want to work together at all. More yellow and blue flags for whatever reason in this one. I believe that is Spag that is getting the blue flags. Don't know why. Actually, I'm just going to quickly go on board with that. Let's see if he's still in the race. He is. So he's not ghosted. He's still in the session. Yeah, that's a bit stupid. But Michael still onto the back of Lachase. He just can't get close enough, but I'll tell you what, he's closed a lot more than he did last time by, because he's right onto the back of him coming in through turn number 1, but he's pretty much compromised any good run that he could have had out of there to get right up to the rear of him, because here comes Timon. Even so, Michael's still closing up to the back of Lachase. He's drained the battery completely, and he still can't find a move. Meanwhile, up ahead, slashes onto the back of Skyzy. More yellow flags, and again, that is for Sonev. No cars have gone off, so again, glitches being caused. Just don't play with the game. Just pull into the pit lane and do what you must with your retirements. As here comes Timon onto the back of Michael. I'll read out the comments in just a moment, as Timon still just can't find an avenue through, and these are really providing some issues for the Dutch team, because they could have had a lot more in this one. They could have been onto the back of Slash and Skyzy if not for the two cars in front of them. So yeah, causing some issues for him. But let's see what can Slash do onto the back of Skyzy for 4th position. Really strong points on offer here, especially for the English team, leading the race at the moment without a penalty. Actually, I do believe that they are within the 3-second window that they need Skyzy and Slash to make up a move ahead of Quicksilver, as there it is, move made for Timon. Gabber could also be onto the back of the Maltese driver. That is good teamwork from the Dutch team, because Michael has got no slipstream, no one to help him, no one to call for, and that has been a complete double team, losing 2 positions in the space of about 1 corner. Slash wasn't able to get close enough to Skyzy to try and make a move, but I'll tell you what, he's closed up a lot to the rear of him. If they're fighting too hard, they're going to be losing time to Quicksilver, and they've actually just dropped out the 3-second window that they need, so not going to be helping any time soon. As yeah, we're just about to begin lap number 17, the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. It's been a really great experience to be here once again, so I do thank the QVR team. Yellow flags again, don't worry about that. That is for the Racing Point car of Sonev that is already retired. So no Racing... Actually, sorry, we do have a Racing Point car, but disaster for Malta in this race. 2 DNFs today, and they were both for the Maltese team. Here comes Slash onto the back of Skyzy, and here comes Timon onto the back of Lachase. This is the move we should be watching, because he's pulled it up the inside of of the Frenchman. Easy move made for him, but he has got DRS, has Lachey, so if he does choose to, he can maybe try and slip back up the inside of Timon. You can see he's still closing up to him. He's trying to maybe just pull out the pit slipstream, but he can't find an opportunity. The window completely shuts for him. Look back at the front though, look at where Zario is. The win is not secure for Lando, and once they begin the final lap of the Grand Prix, all things can unravel for him. Seems like Quicksilver's managed to escape the 3-second window that Skyzy needs to take the final spot on the podium. It'd be nice to see 3 different teams on the podium. You really have to hand it to the Dutch team today for doing so well to pick up multiple podiums from multiple drivers in this one. But of course, not everything is in black and white at the moment, because the move for the lead still could come our way. Here we go now on the straightaway. This could be for the race lead. Just can't get close enough to the rear. What about Skyzy and Slash? He also can't get close enough, so they're all trolling us with the moves. But I think this is where we're going to see the fight really start to kick off on the final lap of the Grand Prix, coming down the retro poster for the final time into turn number 4. Zario makes a move for the race lead. He was going to win it in France, but a 3-second time penalty ruined his plans. Slash and Skyzy also going side by side, wheel to wheel, up towards turn number 5, flying upwards of the hill. Who's going to be the bravest around the outside is Slash. There's a little bit of contact between the pair of them, and that is not a deserved 3-second time penalty. He might be looking to get that one removed because he had nowhere else to go, but he's still slipping his way back up the inside of Skyzy, but it's not worth the fight. He's not able to do it. He can't do anything. And, well, he's not been able to capitalise on the Frenchman. He's driven really well. But here is the Mercedes car, Zario, taking an opportunity. Take a bow, my son, because you have done so well to pick up a win. It's multiple podiums for the Dutchman as well. Do not forget, he takes the win in Brazil. Lando interjecting himself in second position. Really strong performance from him. Quicksilver in 3rd, 4th for Skyzy, 5th for Slash, 6th for Timon. Lachey taking up 7th. Gabber in 8th, 9th for Michael, 10th for Halle. So at least Malta pick up a double top 10 finish. Good improvement on the previous race for them. Rattel, unfortunately, not finishing the top 10, nor is Naoma. I actually do believe that, yeah, no, this is glitched, so I think Spag, for some reason, is still going for another lap. I have no clue what's going on. I'm actually going to ask him in the Discord where you finished. I'm just going to go at Spag. Where did you finish? It's glitched for you on timing. There we go. Just drop that one in there. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. I'm going to quickly read out the comments just so we can see the niceness that everyone has been putting in. So we had a Rattel fan in the group. Other 2 groups are starting soon. Yes, of course. We will be back soon for the next edition. I believe I'll be back next week, but I'll just quickly have to check who our commentators for the next session are. So we've got 2 more races coming your way tonight. It is Group A, commentated by Daka, and then Pariah, I hope I've said that one right, taking you through Group B. I believe Spag now going to crawl across the line to finish the race. He's confirmed in P10. I don't believe... Yeah, no, we're not going to get it all. I think I might just end it here because it looks like we're going to have to wait out the clock. But well done to Zario winning the race. You can see the confirmed positions here. Aside from P10 for Spag, it says he's in 14th, but that is not true. But as for me, I'll see you all next week, and make sure you check out the QVR channel, like and subscribe to the video, and hopefully I'll see you next week. So goodbye everyone.